and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
Hello, Lucy.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. We have a lot. It's been a lot of action in the past week.
Oh yeah.
You know I love action.
You love it.
I love to see the ups and I love to see the downs and the swings in the middle. We got a lot. I mean, this time last week, the tariffs on China were what? 10%?
Something like that.
Now they're at 700%.
Crazy.
China will have to, if I understand tariffs correctly and math, which I tragically don't, but I believe that means that if I want to buy a nice, a nice sculpture of a rat off TEMU, for instance, that would have been $7. Well, now they'll have to pay America $70 to get that rat in my hands.
Damn.
And I think that's not. I still get my rat, right?
And you love that TEMU.
I love TEMU. I love cheap things. Just useless things. Just things that make me. The age of durable goods is a myth. Mm-hmm. What do you want? You want a pair of cotton underwear that your wife looms, mixed in the loom?
And one solid suit.
And she has to put it on the, she has to clean them every day with that thing that looks like the instrument they play in New Orleans. With that board. Your hash marks are just getting beaten like a drum. Is that what you want, or you want to get some nice boxers off TEMU for 7 cents?
I love wearing a dress with cartoon characters on it.
Right.
I can just feel it giving me a rash. That's how I know it's good stuff.
I like this stuff. It doesn't give you that's the myth. The rash comes from the trade imbalance. The rash comes from people not paying, the required due to get into the marketplace. It's like this stuff. There's plenty of profit here. We're acting like, how are they going to survive? This stuff costs nothing. All it costs to make is human pain. Right? All it costs to make is the cry of a child as his hand gets caught in the lathe or the 3D printer. That sculpture of a rat. How many times these kids are trying to unjam? Everything returns. Everything is cyclical. Like remember the old days when was it guys like Upton Sinclair who wrote that book, The Jungle, and and about how kids are going into factories back in the 1800s, right? And because they're small little fingers, they can get into the nooks and the crannies and unclog the pipes. Well, now they're unclogging 3D printers. We've all had printers before, inkjet printers. Who here has an inkjet printer and gotten more than one page printed? But the head's clogging up. You don't think that's going to be a problem for the 3D variety? But you going to get my fat fingers in there to get that rat sculpture back on the production line? Or you need little fingers?
I hate it when I'm trying to print guns for my militia and the 3D printer just jams.
It's a real problem. It's a real... That's, if Dwight Eisenhower was... Dwight Eisenhower understood, tactics and logistics. That's why he built the highways. You don't think if Dwight Eisenhower was president now, he would get a bunch of kids to unclog the 3D printers to make the guns? Of course he would. Don't get it twisted. Of course he would. He's supposed to beware of the military-industrial complex because eventually all our printers are going to clog up and we've outlawed child labor. That's what he meant. Not like, we're going to get into endless wars and become slaves to a hegemony. No, our printers are going to jam up and we're not allowed to get the only people who can fix it. The way Americans act when Terminator came back in time to get John Connor, get him in the game. They would have said, there's no child labor. Sorry, he's only 14. He can't save the world. Go back to the future. Not in our America. I don't agree with Trump on everything.
A lot of other cultures, in a lot of other cultures around the world.
Yeah.
If a child has wisdom or just talented hands,
sure,
they can change the world.
Mozart was writing symphonies at the age of 4. Okay, do you think the Habsburg court in Vienna said what to his dad? Wait. It's child labor? Or they say, oh, the marriage of Figaro. Thank you so much. Oh, Don Giovanni, we love it. You know, that's what they said. They didn't say, you know, people used to appreciate when a child, you know, nowadays, I feel like if you made your parents a macaroni birthday card, they would lambast you for laboring. Because they hate labor. This whole country was built on labor. And now we're trying, but no one wants to appreciate. Everyone wants to get away from that. Everyone wants to be an influencer. Everyone wants to be, you know, a congressman who does insider trading, or be Mr. Beast, and you know, turning the third world into a Rube Goldberg machine. A casino for the autistically, you know, inclined. And before we get any further, please just, you know, subscribe to the show if you can. It's great.
Please do.
Please do. Yeah, my wife's saying please. Please just subscribe. It doesn't cost you nothing. It doesn't cost you anything. Actually,
You'll just get a little notification when the episode's out. That's all.
Only if you hit the bell, and you should hit the bell. Because what's the point of subscribing if you don't get the bell? So make sure you hit the bell.
The bell and the subscribe are two different things.
There's different things. I don't know why YouTube did it this way, but I'm not going to question it. All right? I don't question. I just do. Also, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/Ray Kump. And if you go, hey, I want more Kump, more than once a week. Oh, funny you mentioned it. Patreon's got it. Extra episode every week. All right, but you know, labor's fine. Labor's a noble thing. The only jobs I ever remember liking were ones where I sweat. And I sweat everywhere. But I mean, like, you really worked. You know, you get your hands dirty. You move a U-boat around. If you're in, or a forklift, what do they call it? Hand trucks. I used to hand truck bread around, potato bread. That's what you write a book about. Not about how I was an intern at a startup. I worked at some kind of, you know, video magazine company making, you know, let's go see the, you know, what the prostitutes in Peru think about, you know, they're starting a co-op. For polka music. Who's that help?
We want to deny that people are self-interested, you know?
Right.
The birth rate's going to plummet because we can't send kids to factories.
If you, look, how are you going to get these kids? You're so worried about kids, but you don't want to make any. You know? I've never seen people care so much about something they don't want. No baby for me, but I'm going to tell you, like, hey, if I have a baby, how am I gonna, you know, go on a cigar trip with my boys to the cigar club? I'd like to every weekend we travel to a different city and sit in in leather chairs at a cigar club, and we talk about Taylor Swift and her booty. You know, that's what. So how could I have a child? How could I possibly have a child? I don't have the time. Me and my six Peruvian friends like to get together and smoke cigars.
You know, when you just said that, it made me realize that men don't seem to objectify Taylor Swift that much.
They don't.
I've never heard a man talking. I've never seen or heard a man talking about Taylor Swift's body.
Taylor Swift is all business. I don't care if she's wearing a bikini or a onesie or whatever, or some kind of, you know, pajama, whatever she's wearing. These outfits she wears in these concerts. I'm not a Swiftie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Bunny suits.
She dresses up like a hamster. Has a hamster wheel, does and makes a song about how the hamster broke up with her. You know, whatever. I mean, but that's the thing. This is not. People don't care about women's uteruses anymore. They pretend to, right? Oh, abortion this and that, abortion that, whatever. It's all under the bridge, right? It's all water, but no water's getting broken. You don't want to bet. And I'm not. If you look around the world. Am I supposed to tell you, like, don't go to the cigar clubs and high five each other? You know, no, it's fine. We have like 10 good years left, and good's an overstatement. So, but this child, they just gotta pay the price if they want to compete with the kids, or let us. I mean, that's the thing, or let us do it. You pick one or the other. And I know which side the politicians want.
Yeah.
They're on the side I'm talking about. They want those children to get back into cleaning those printer heads and to get those guns produced on the 3D printers. Stop worrying about the swings. Oh, it's up and down. It's up and down. Oh, China's, Trump doesn't have a plan. Oh, he buckled. There's no there's no more. I'm doing this. It's just every day's a new thing. It's like Groundhog Day, but like we remember. But like in the sense that like it's just a new start. I guess it's the opposite of Groundhog Day. Everything. It's just keep your head on a swivel. That's what's gonna happen? When they you're gonna have a trade war. We're always gonna trade with each other. No other country wants this crap.
We're the only ones.
These people message me.
We're the only ones who are undignified to take this.
People message me. People I like it and go, "Oh, what's America going to do?" Because people around the country right now. What we're going to do? America's got Australia is just going to trade with China, and the Dutch are going to trade with China. What are you going to do with the rat sculpture? I didn't get it yet. But I bought a sculpture of like a rat, or a raccoon riding a shark. I don't think the appetite is there in Australia for that. We have a unique set of skills in this country, America. We want crap. All right? That's what makes the global economy work. We want crap.
We want it cheap and fast and dirty.
And we've given that away.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's just not like, where do the diamonds go? Where does the timber go and the coal and the anthracite? Raw materials, real things. This is like, where do I give the poster, the AI-generated poster of Motley Crue and Backstreet Boys getting into a pancake fight? Whatever the hell that means. But I guarantee you can find that on TEMU. Do you think that people in Nice, France, or in Monaco want that? I'm the only one who wants that. And now, I'm sorry, you don't have to agree with everything that President Trump says, but he's the only one saying, hey, we got real monsters here. We got real monsters who want useless crap. You can make a country, a nation of factories that only produce rats, just big giant sculptures of. Give me an item.
There are swaths of teenage girls just making whole careers out of buying a shit from TEMU and saying this doesn't work very well. This thing looks kind of ugly.
Right. We are like an organism. America is like one of those water buffaloes that has that parasite that like eats the weird bacteria that would kill the water buffalo. It's a symbiosis, right? Not only do I have me who gets the raccoon riding the rat pendant, and look forward for that because talk about drip, talk about drip. But we also have the people. It's the entire cottage industry of reviewing the pendant of the raccoon ride, and I don't got time for that. I need these college girls and these hotties and these baddies with the booties. With the butts that they get to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Hey, I think you have. Just by the way, I think you might have a lump that we should get biopsied. But let's proceed with cutting open your ass and then shoving lunch meat in there to make it more juicy, right? And then but you can't just have that. So you have to have like a gimmick, like, hey, I got the lunch meat ass, and I review the sculptures on TEMU that Ray Kump buys.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I can go, oh, these are fine. This won't give me. I
want to be able to buy an artificial womb on TEMU in like 2 years.
I would love to impregnate your TEMU womb, and it'll happen. And I think it's appropriate because I want our childs. And multiple childs to work in the new factories that we're going to build here.
Yeah.
I did these AI videos going around with fat people working in factories in China. They go, this is what you want? Yes. Because I don't want to wait. The one problem with this stuff, you have to wait a while. You have to wait a week. I want this stuff tomorrow. This is not, the more if you're going to say, hey, you need a new hot water heater for your house. Well, okay. Well, do you have it ready? No, it's gonna take a few days. All right. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You still need that hot water heater, don't you? You can't go, oh no, I'll just blow on it with my breath. That don't work. You gotta buy it. But if I say to you, hey, I got a knife that's shaped like a bowl of salad. Like, I'll buy that. It's gonna be a week. I might not want that in a week.
Yeah.
I might want the salad knife in a week. You know? It's shaped like a bowl of salad and it's made to cut salad. I'd love to. I had a McCarthy salad the other,
What's a McCarthy salad?
It's got a bunch of crap. It's very chopped very finely. It's delicious. So I would love to have, but I would love it if a knife, because I don't even know what you do to chop. I mean, get a knife, you just chop it up. That's too much work. Get me a salad bowl that's got knives built into it, and I could just kind of, or maybe it has just slits in it, and I just shove the knife in the slits with the salads in there. You know? These are things that, like, you need to. It needs to be in my hands the next day at the latest. I can't be waiting a week for this crap, right? This is a social contract we've made. We've made a social contract to have the most useless things ever conceived of.
Yeah.
I have 16 different camo hoodies in various colors, and it cost me like $6 altogether. The tariffs might have increased it a bit. I might be taking a haircut on these hoodies. But these are not.
Is there any possibility
that I will be confused for a soldier in this? Yes, I'm a soldier of commerce. That's what I am.
I'm just worried. We use so much of this stuff. Is there any way that they could basically smallpox blanket us with this stuff? Like,
Well, I mean, it's like saying, like, as a farmer, is there any way, is there any chance a farmer's going to poison their own crops? Yeah, I guess people go crazy. You roll the dice, kid. But I mean, this is the gig. You're looking at this is the point of business right here. You're looking at it. I am the point. I am the end result of the economy. Okay. So I mean, yeah, they might. Will I go crazy from all the lead in the lead lining in my hoodie? Will that drive me insane, like Nero or the entire Roman Republic? Yeah, probably. Who's keeping me safe? Who's keeping me safe? Dylan Mulvaney?
Only you can look out for number one. Yeah?
Who's keeping me safe? The people at the Jon Stewart show? The John Olivers of the world? Are they gonna massage my brain tumor? No. So just keep your mouths shut. We're making the world work. But it's gonna cost China a little extra. I'm sorry that China, in between, what are we crying about? Because we have a 90-day stay on the tariff. Because I'm not getting these from Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein's not making me, a glove that has all sorts of, that I can massage myself and eat at the same time. I can eat the glove and it can massage me. Liechtenstein, I pitched that to them and they said, get out of here. Go back to your pig pen. And I'm like, well, fair enough. And China, on the other hand, said, we can make this happen. We can make your dreams come true. And we're going to get rich on the back end of it. And that's fine. But just not, you can take a little slice off the pie. You know how it is if you leave a pie out at work, little cake. Everyone is a social. Most people are modest, right?
Yeah,
and they'll take a reasonable slice.
They want to take maybe even a little bit less than they would at a normal family gathering. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Because that's a social lubricant. That right there. But then because it goes, hey, I don't, just leave some for the next guy. That's all we're saying. Leave some for the next guy. But then China is the guy who goes, you know what? Let me take half the pie. That's my slice. And he goes, look, we're not saying don't eat the pie, China, but you gotta have a little smaller slice. That's all we're saying. You can still put the pie in my fat mouth, but it's just gonna be smaller. I am worth something. I am you out there. You may not know. You might have a prettier face or better abs, or a job that produces something more value. But we're the same. So yeah, I'm speaking for you. I'm your reflection. If you don't like that, well, you're not gonna like the next 10 years. I'll tell you that much. So, using me as a template, the idea is that, you have to value yourself. I've heard this talked about, a number of times by different gurus and hucksters and psychologists. All the same thing.
Right.
That, you can't love someone else till you love yourself. Well, if you don't value, and you have to value yourself. Well, that's what tariffs are. This is a way of valuing. We have a lot of mouths to feed and a lot of impulses to satiate, and you can do it. But you got but it's going to cost a little bit. It's like a hot girl with a booty and a short skirt and makeup, right? Everyone loves that, right, guys? A girl with a hot booty and makeup, American dream. But we get a little nervous when we see one just giving it away, and you know what I mean. This is a family show now, right? So I'm not gonna spell it out for you, boys, but you know what I'm saying, right? Just giving it away. You don't want that. You gotta take me, wine me, and dine me. That's the whole thing, right? There's some guys. This whole modern trend of like girls just care about money. They're valuing themselves. Right? That's what they're supposed to do. Because you only get one.
Right.
You only get one of those things down there. and same thing with China and us. I value in as much the same way as a girl's valuing what's down in her pants. I'm valuing what's in my appetites. I'll buy it all. I'll buy every stupid thing you ever heard of. I'll buy every piece of junk, every knickknack, every a carousel of monkeys. That actually sounds great. I would love to. I'll tariff be damned. Those horse things where people ride horses.
The carousels.
Carousels, but it's just monkeys. Can I get one of those? I'll pay $1,000 for that. I'll get a line of credit.
Yeah, big things. Buying big things cheap from China.
Yeah,
that's the next frontier.
It's the only frontier. And that's how you provide. Don't get it fooled. Oh, these boomers who destroyed your country, who just gave it all away. These ex-hippies who became, just the scum of the earth. They go, all these people do is buy things. First of all, I don't know what you think you're doing. Every person who hits 70 thinks they're part of the greatest generation, right? This World War II generation who was already again, overstated people. But I mean,
that's a really good point. Yeah, once people reach a certain age, they think they're grandfathered in,
right,
to the same people who fought in the Battle of the Bulge.
No, you're the people who tanked everything in the 80s. You spent the 80s doing blow and creating bonds that this is hey, look at this. This is a surfing bond. What? This is a bond. This is a no interest loan, and it's financed by the sale of, I don't know, sand. Mortgages, whatever. You made a bunch of fictional bond companies. They all tanked, and now you're pretending like you guys built the Brooklyn Bridge. You didn't build the Brooklyn Bridge. This is what the economy is. You're a soldier in the new economy, and your weapon is just pay. You can't just get access to my mouth for nothing. That's what I'm saying. And that's why, Trump gave in on the tariffs. No, China's 145% right now. Right? That's the only one that matters.
Right.
What's this? Who gives a crap about? What are we giving New Zealand's tariffs? What are we going to buy? An orang? What do they have there? What's the kiwi? The bird? I'm not even allowed to. It's probably illegal to buy a kiwi. Oh, we don't even export them. Go to hell.
Honestly, we should maybe make it. I would love if they made an exception for exotic pets.
Yeah.
Maybe we could get a red panda out of this deal. Everything is a giant tariff accepted, but exotic pets are tariff free.
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
Yeah, that's the thing. You want? Let's negotiate. I want a tiger, a Chinese tiger. Okay, maybe we'll lower that tariff to this is how you negotiate, right? don't start out going, hey, maybe can we just do something even? How about even Stevens? How about we each get no? How about I come to your country and I steal all the water? They go, please don't do that. Well, then then give me a tiger. All right, that's how it works. That's how negotiations work. Hey, I'm crazy. Oh, Trump's actually crazy and stupid. Well, if he is, that's even better. Because people who run other countries aren't always dumb. You think these pundits, these moron pundits, these 20-year-olds drinking at coffee shops in Brooklyn, writing articles, making $10 an hour. What's it care? Because daddy's rich, right? Right? Oh, Trump's such a moron. He should just. How are you going to go? You're going to act crazy to China? They're going to believe you? They know your dad's rich. Your dad's rich. What'd you build? Oh, Trump's dad's rich. Yeah, but he destroyed a bunch of companies and whatever. He made himself a character. You're just sitting there sipping a cortado, writing about sneakers. And then the Yankees. No one cares. No one cares about your opinion. What are you going to buy? And yeah, we're also going to get a few factories here. Because again, we're not. No one cares about your articles and your little bits, your little data bits. We need a few factories.
How would you deal with having a Chinese factory boss?
A Chinese we mean like being in a Chinese factory?
Yeah.
Well, that's not what we're talking about. We also do Trump. This is not a game. We're not importing the Chinese.
Well, there's
en masse.
To some extent, there are some, there are some factories Americans work in now that are owned effectively by.
Oh, you're right. There are. Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about the Foxcons and stuff. I think this is supposed to be alleviating that somewhat. But yeah, if I had what would I do with a Chinese factory boss? I'd respect him because he's giving me the ability to buy my little things, my little knickknacks. As long as you get down to just keep going down to the pit, right?
Me too. I would also respect, because I also know at the end of the day, I'm stealing enough from the factory on my way home that I'm getting over.
Right. Look, if you take your factory job at face value, that's your problem.
Yeah.
We're a country of thieves. We're a country of grifters. We're a country that came over and said, Europe said, we don't know what your religion's about. What your pilgrim thing is, what your the Irish and their potato. Get out of here. The rest of Europe poisoned the Irish potatoes or something. Is that where the famine came from? That's how much they wanted the Irish to get out of there.
Yeah.
They were going to poison your potatoes. Enjoy the potato famine. Very tragic, right? And they came here and we said, you set up shop here, dudes. It's fine. That's what we're about. We're a bunch of people who no one else wanted, and we're crazy. Right? And we don't really have a lot of skill. We're not known for our watches.
I love it when I see some online, I see some guy who's like, and I'm not saying that there aren't risks to it and dangers to it or that everybody should do this.
Right.
But like when I see some guy going like, how could a woman sacrifice her dignity just to avoid financial struggle and make an OnlyFans? It's like, well, what is this?
Right. First of all, do you know how many shirts you can buy with an OnlyFans if it's good?
Do you know how many camo sweatshirts you can buy?
These things I have some of these I have backups of. I'm not even kidding, right?
Yeah.
I bought backups of a few of these because I like them so much. But who knows? And you can't do that. Look, you try putting a shirt in the wash, right? And it comes out, it's never quite right. It's like, oh, well, you're gonna waste it all by throwing it out and just using it once? Maybe if the price is right, because I like to be fresh. Right? I don't got the money. Who's that guy? I think Sinatra used to do it, right? Or Dean Martin, one of those two. They're big luxury. Well, I'm sure they had other luxuries, but never wore a pair of socks more than once.
That is a great luxury.
I've always envied that because there's nothing better than a new pair of socks. Mm-hmm. And they're not expensive per se, but a nice pair of socks. You can buy them every day. Maybe if they get if the price gets low enough. I mean, with Amazon, it's almost there, and I think about doing it sometimes just to feel like I'm rich. Just stockpiling socks so I can just get a little taste of the good life. Look, I know I have like mustard stains on my eye. and I smell like an industry. But what you can't see is every day new pair of cotton. I mean, it won't be cotton. It'll be some kind of bone. It'll be like human bones rendered into a sock. But hopefully they were just naturally dead. I don't want people being killed to make socks. But whatever. I'm just saying, like, it's not gonna be the premium thing. It's just get used to it, because this is we're adjusting.
Yeah. And also, like, there are some good things happening,
Yeah.
I read the other day that there was a womb transplant.
Really?
A woman donated her womb to her sister, whose womb was rotten, I guess.
Yeah.
And she had a baby. It was successful.
See, that's great. I like that, because it's like a lot of people go, I don't need this.
But now people are worried they're gonna put wombs in men now.
Well,
do you think that'll happen?
do I think that will put wombs in men? Yeah. But not for free. I mean, look, it's like look, we all want more time to watch cartoons. We all want more time to, sit around and plan our next blog, our next lifestyle tweet, whatever, right? You think about how much more influencing you could do if you didn't have to go to a day job.
Oh yeah.
It takes getting into the arts, comedy, whatever, music. You gotta spend a lot of time making nothing just to make anything, right? Mm-hmm. And some people have to, you gotta work at a coffee shop. You gotta work, I had this day job. I heard there's some article that one of the guys in the Avengers was a security guard at some museum somewhere. Like, that's so interesting. What if it was, to make ends meet, Timothy, what's his name? Who's the little guy everyone loves? Dune.
Chalamet?
Chalamet. What if Chalamet said, hey, while I was at the Strasberg Academy learning, method acting, and in the art of performance, I paid my bills by having a womb. I just let him shove a baby inside me. You can still act. You can still act while you're pregnant. You say you can't, but you can. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with that? It's 9 months. It's just 9. You don't have to use it all the time. It's a nice backup plan. A nice way to just make a few bills.
Yeah.
Now,
are you imagining this as part of he's going to be a surrogate?
Yes. Are you thinking? Is this some kind of trans thing?
I think that it might have something to do with trans, but who knows? Yeah, I mean, maybe.
Let's just look. Let them do what they want to do. But when I see a good idea, I take it. Right? I'm not trans, but I'm going to take that idea, and that's going to be you can pretend you can be a woman. I get whatever. If you want to use the fake womb for that, I don't care. But I'm using it to finance my boy band, right? That's like, don't get mad at people with their hustle. Just make your own hustle. It's a competition of hustles and grinds. If this guy, you're mad at a guy because he wants to say he's a woman, whatever. Like I don't know how you can make money off that. So you're just gonna have a baby and raise it? Well, I don't know what that is.
Right.
No, give me the money. And I can go get my cheeks filled with bee honey or whatever these actresses do. What do they do? They shove honey inside them. Botox, whatever.
Botox, fillers.
Yeah. No. If you look, that's the thing. You can inherit money from your parents and just blow it on drugs and partying and whatever. Tell us all this time. Aesop's fables, and the chipmunk that saved, and then the snake who didn't, or whatever those fables are, right?
Yeah, the cricket that saved all of its eggs.
Yeah.
And the little rat who didn't say nothing.
Right. Yeah. And you go, well, I'm hungry now. You should just, well, that's the same thing. If you want to use your fake womb, your transplanted womb to play house. Well, that's your business, but I'm building a life off of it. I'm building a brand off of it. Is that going to be like a thing? No. Shoot me for this 9 months. Just shoot me from the neck up. Why don't you just do a bunch of close-ups? Chalamet should say honestly, I think a lot of people would pay a lot of money to have a baby, that was wombed inside of Chalamet's body.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean, some people might pay millions of dollars for that. I mean, if I was Chalamet, I don't want to say you're dumb, but if you were smart, what you would do is you would get that womb, you let people pay you that money to put that baby in you, and then you go, hey, Denis Villeneuve, director of Dune, For Dune 3, I want just shoot my neck up. Because what are you paying me? $5 million for this? I'm making 50 off my baby bump.
Imagine if we could start doing this like in the future.
Yeah.
Start doing this with corpses.
Right.
And you could say like, you know, the corpse of Bob Dylan carried my baby.
I love it. It's like the Matrix, but like good. Like it's a real like right because everyone's we're all just batteries. Well, you know, it's not quite. No, we're baby farms. No, I would. That's an incredible. Can I buy the corpse of Bob Dylan when he dies? Can I make a contract with him? That's the thing. I go to Bob Dylan. I go, hey, I know you wrote Times Are Changing and the Hurricane song and a bunch of hits. You know, you like the Beatles. You're one-man Beatles, and you also make fences. And you grift people with those. They're beautiful fences. But hey, you want to remember your youth and in the '60s when you had a lot of hope before it all went to shit. You know, buy my fence, and that's what I'm saying. He's already doing that.
Yeah.
Why not? Hey, forget the fences. I'll give you 40, and not me, but this is imagine a company goes, we'll give you 30 million, 50 million. When you're dead, we're gonna use your body as a cabbage patch.
Yeah. Yeah, a cabbage patch.
A cabbage. Everyone likes the idea of a cabbage patch.
Everyone loves that.
Right? We can make that dream come true. We can basically have we literally have, and we might as well just put, they'll be fields. You go to Ohio. I'm going to build a business. You go to Ohio, right? And there'll just be endless fields. Instead of corn, it'll be Iowa, I guess, but whatever. But instead of corn and potatoes, you see just cabbage. Oh, it's a cabbage farm. Well, we put that there to feel good. But underneath each one of those is a famous corpse that we've implanted with a body, a baby. And then it's just a business, right? It's the real life cabbage patch. Dreams do come true if you wait long enough.
Imagine wading through a sunny cabbage patch.
Yeah.
And plucking your baby from the earth.
That's actually a nice thing. It's a great idea. This is great. This is what we call corporate synergy.
Yeah.
This is great marketing because you get to dig up the cabbage patch. That's part of the process.
Right.
And
you peel back the leaves.
We give you a shovel and you open up and you see the decomposing corpse of Bob Dylan. You go, ooh, yeah, it gets a little ripe. We're working on that. We're working on the smell. We think we might cover them in the kind of glue. But don't worry about that. But
every once in a while, there's a negative, Yelp review saying, I saw Tom Petty's deconstructed penis while I was pulling my baby out of the cabbage patch.
Sure.
And you just have to deal with that.
People who bought the first
iPhone. Part of this.
Yeah, people who bought the first iPhone. They call them early adopters, right? Mm-hmm. There's always pitfalls. Mm-hmm. Oh, like the translation doesn't. Apple Maps didn't work really well at first, right? There's always hiccups. And so when the first few people who utilized Bob Dylan's womb, his dead womb, it's gonna be kind of gross. They're gonna have to work to figure out how to preserve the corpse a little better, mummify it. They got to mummify it a little bit. Mm-hmm. If the Egyptians could do what they did with the mummies, we could probably just put a lacquer on them on Bob Dylan. Mm-hmm. A clear liquid glue of sort, a varnish that'll keep it from it's like when you have like a rose inside of a glass thing. I don't know what those are. I don't know who makes that. We're shipping a bottle. Basically shipping a bottle.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
It's hopeful. Here's the thing. Everyone complained about Obama. Oh, yeah, everyone thought, change. All they wanted was change and hope, right?
Yeah, change and hope. That was his whole campaign strategy.
This doesn't feel like change to you?
It feels pretty different from yesterday, honestly.
Politicians are all the same. You sure about that? We got cabbage patches now. And China is finally paying, the proper due to get access to me. This is what Silicon Valley doesn't understand. Silicon Valley, their days are numbered, right? All they've done is foment just chaos and nonsense and give rise to people like Mr. Beast, right? and they don't understand. They think that because the whole your data. All we've been hearing about is data. Oh, they're gonna steal your data. You're just your data on Twitter is what they sell and what they care about. That's over. They're trying to make some transhumanist guys like Elon Musk and his friends and Peter Thiel. These people just want, they want to be. They just want to be served. They want to be like, who's that guy who hangs around Dracula?
Oh God, what's his name?
They made a movie about him.
Yeah.
Just look up Dracula's buddy.
Renfield.
Yeah. Elon Musk basically wants to be the Renfield to the tech the tech singularity Dracula. You know what I mean? He wants to be. It's like he said once, humanity's just an organic bootloader for digital AI. No one needs your servile bill of goods.
Yeah.
You know what? We're a nation of proud men and some women. But mostly proud men. Let's be honest. It might change. The next 100 years might be different. But let's be. How many?
I kind of agree with you on that in the sense that I think women could kind of live anywhere.
It's a male energy in this country.
Yeah.
Europe is a lot more feminine. Whatever you want, take it however you want. I don't care, right? But the rest of the world in general is a lot more feminine. I feel like.
Right.
Hey, the Vikings were tough, but now what are you doing? You're making robot ports in Rotterdam. I mean, I'd like to go there. Don't at me. And we appreciate if you live there. We appreciate you listening.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
Like,
but no one cares about the we're men.
Yeah.
And we have women.
Oh, that nationalist pride flows from male.
Yeah,
energy.
women care.
A woman, like, even though, like, obviously I wouldn't want to live under, like, Taliban rule or whatever.
No, yeah.
But, like, a woman, like, in a bikini, a woman in a burqa could probably, like, have Thai tea together.
Sure. And I'm not promoting this. You were telling me about how, I was gone for a few days on business, and you came back and you were talking about how Sharia cities are a problem. And
yeah, I was reading about this. It's a little bit older, but there are, like, kind of updates coming out about it where, like,
right.
these guys wanted to make something called Epic City.
Right.
That would be basically a Sharia city that would be like kind of closed off. A portion of the fee for living there would go to the mosque, which I like theoretically would keep other non-Muslims out of the city.
You know what's a great place for that? The Middle East.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I would say like, hey, I like, you're pitching me this weird Islamic state inside of Texas, and I like that you're trying things, and this is a nation of entrepreneurs and hope. But I feel like the market for that is more Saudi Arabia, Jordan. These you're gonna find a lot more appetite for that, and we don't need that here. You're gonna get a lot of pushback, a lot of friction. How about you leave that? Know your market. We don't. This is the thing. You can push back. You don't have to get all like overcorrect with this stuff. I ain't got no problem with this. Whatever. But but just know what your market. I'm not trying to like win over coffee moms. Mm-hmm. You don't see me trying to be on Pinterest, do you?
Right.
Know where you're wanted. Know what the demographic is. Know where the appetite is. It's like poker. If you said people think poker is about knowing the odds and the cards, it's about playing with people who are worse than you. Knowing what you sit down at the table. What's that Rounders quote? You sit down at the table, you look around, you don't see the idiot. You're the idiot, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But it's about like know what you're doing here. So this idea, keep it out of Texas. Yeah. We don't need that.
Yeah, trying to do that shit in Texas is pretty good.
You're not going. The age of like we're gonna sneak into America and like manipulate things behind the scenes.
Yeah, like this isn't the time for that.
And scurry around like little schemers, and while you're asleep, hey, what's that thing? The tiger sleeps or whatever. Mm. You woke up the tiger. I don't know. I don't read fables very often anymore. I'm a man. I'm a grown man. But yeah, just let's cut the shit.
Right.
We know what we're doing here. It's like, is it a Christian nation? I don't care. We're a nation of buys. All right? We don't need anything keeping, Christians know how to give God his due and still buy garbage. All right? And that's how this works. Jesus said once, didn't he say, give to Caesar what's his and give me mine? But I'm going to get mine. But give Caesar his.
I'm gonna get mine in the next life.
Yeah. Don't get it twisted. I'm not here to fight with Caesar. I'm here to bang you over the head. All right? You're with me. But Caesar gets hey, that's between you and him. Don't worry. It's like a salesman. Like, but my wife. Hey, you figure your wife out. You tell your wife what's up. She don't want to buy this piece of land. You tell her that this is how we get ours. Or you tell her, you lie to her, or you divorce her. But sign the damn contract, all right? That's what this is. So we don't need to have women in burqas in America. We don't need to have people getting, you can't go in this cafe like in Paris where women aren't allowed to go into cafes.
That's like insane.
This is
I didn't even think it was, honestly, at first, I didn't even think it was true.
I know, it's like
but yeah, like you see more and more people saying this happened to me, videos of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's crazy.
And people
it's crazy that you just get to enforce Sharia law in some city.
And people go, and look, I'll be honest. I mean, I've been guilty of a little bit of wow, it's hard sometimes to turn people away when they're refugees from the wars you started.
Right.
But it's been a while now. You get you got a certain amount of leeway. These refugee, this 30-year process of I'm a refugee from what? Oh, the Boer War. The Boer War, the Boer War really changed things here. And what was it, the Dutch or whatever? I'm a refugee of the War of the Roses.
Yeah.
Imagine telling me that. Why should you take over England? Well, the War of the Roses. What's another? Imagine the South trying to take over New York because of the Civil War. It's over. Wars have consequences. No one likes war.
It's also just kind of crazy to think that people are gonna submit to some pretty fascist ideas.
Yeah.
Just out of guilt for colonialism.
Yeah.
That's not.
It's really this guy's it's like pick your fascist.
Right.
If I got the option, you telling me this guy's a fascist, we're gonna vote. Trump's a fascist. But at least he just wants me to get a nice little rat sculpture. Right. He wants to make a little money while the rat sculpture comes in. I don't have to cut off my wife's hand or whatever if she talks to the mailman. I don't know what happens.
Right.
Just saying, let's just keep we get it.
Yeah.
You get what this is. Hope. Change. I think it's a fun time. What are we doing here? We're bringing back this is Justin Bieber. What's this Justin Bieber thing?
Justin Bieber, American icon.
Yeah.
I saw this video of him talking to the paparazzi.
Starting the paparazzi.
Oh. Good morning.
Good morning.
No, not good morning. You already know. Why are you here? You already know. You just want money. Money. Money, get out of here, bro.
So he's just saying they want money. So he's getting in the paparazzi's face. This is a.
Go, get out of here.
This is hard to watch. People, look, if you're gonna, how about, here's the thing. You can get a microphone on TEMU and just carry it around in your pocket. So if you see someone like Justin Bieber doing something interesting, pop that, so I don't have to hear wind. I'm sick of these viral videos, these supposedly these people, pull your iPhone out. If we're all gonna be little news rats, right? Mm-hmm. How about you get some equipment? How about you put a microphone on top? Shoot, get yourself a gimbal so you can shoot. I don't have to see your shaky hand, your meth addicted hand shaking, while Justin Bieber tries to recreate the Jesus flipping over the money changers thing, and but he's telling the paparazzi they only care about his money, and I think
actually, that's a good point. This is basically what Christ did.
I don't know if Christ would agree, but it definitely it's definitely in the spirit of it. It definitely feels like derivative of that. I agree.
Yeah.
And
Jesus Christ with his arms out, going, money.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus looked down and said, people think he said, forgive them, Lord, they know not what they do. What he actually said was money. Here's the thing. I think Bieber's off base here. I know he's been through a lot, and I wish him the best, but I think he's off base here because he thinks the paparazzi only care about money. Do you remember when Princess Diana had that tragic crash.
Oh, yeah.
The only people who stopped and helped her were the paparazzi. Who else was there to help? I mean, how long did it take for the police to arrive, for the ambulances to arrive? The paparazzi were there like that. You know, I don't know what you think it's all. It's like saying Mother Teresa only cared about money. It's like, you know, it's like if you want people, if you want to to create some kind of new paparazzi that would just leave her in the tunnel to her own devices. Now, unfortunately, they couldn't save her. They tried. They thought maybe if they were using their flashes to try and light up so we can maybe we can get her out. You know, some of them were using, shooting their little camera flashes to like, hey, if we keep shooting, so that, I know they're very quick, but if we keep shooting over and over and over and over and over, it can light it up and we can kind of see where she's stuck and pull her out maybe. You know, so it's just. You know,
if we get an upskirt, see those bloody panties.
Shoot up the skirt so you can show so when the doctor doesn't have to go crawling into the car to see. No, here's the situation down there under her skirt, and then like for instance, I'm saying, and you go, oh, they're such terrible people. They're like the bugs on the water bug I was talking about. It's symbiosis. Justin Bieber wants a world where they just show up to hear his press releases. That's not how this works. You don't get to be famous only when you want to. You know? When you're famous forever. If you're lucky. And you show me the famous person who wants to stop being famous. Besides Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis went away for 10 years to raise his kids. He stepped back in New York City for 1 second and got his head caved in on the Upper West Side. That guy can't get a break. Yeah. Rick Moranis.
He really is the one who struggles with God, you know?
He's a little giant.
He's a little giant.
Do you see that movie?
Yeah, I think I did see
Great film. Go watch Little Giants. Make the time. Oh, I don't got the time, Kump. Make the time. If it's important, you make the time. That's from Star Trek Generations. Where did Sulu get a daughter? Where do you have the time? You make the time. You know, the Trek, I don't know. Do you think, do we have a lot of people who get that reference? I don't care. Because references are cheap, just like TEMU rat sculptures. But no, Bieber, we wish you the best, but he's off base here. We don't need to. We're trying to recreate the global economy here. And with the paparazzi, we can fix that later. You focus your energy where it's needed. I love his idea. I love his idea. He's gonna hey, up and down the stock market, the economy, factory. I'm gonna fix the guys who hang out at Jamba Juice and wait to see Milo Ventrilocalypse, or whatever, the guy from Gilmore Girls, right?
Oh yeah, right. But wait, which one is he?
Milo Ventimiglia, whatever his name is.
Is he Dean?
No, the other one, I think.
Oh, okay.
Not Dean. Dean was the guy. The Dean was the corn-fed moron, right?
Gilmore Girls.
The guy's like, I can't believe Ray Rory. I can't believe you read George Orwell. What are you, a PhD major? It's not that. I mean, he's a good writer, but it's not that complicated. That kind of show used to love to use a reference. I mean, I watched it. I had girlfriends watched it. It was they'd bring up Marx, blah blah blah, and it's just in the middle of Connecticut eating hot chocolate with cinnamon sticks. And pretending they're Marxist or whatever they do. I don't know. I
mean, Gilmore Girls is a great show for just getting a chemo drip.
For getting it in. For getting a chemo drip.
Yeah.
It's a great look. That's a great thing. We need to. Everyone needs entertainment, and sometimes when you're sitting there and they're shoving this weird kind of poison inside you, a poison that helps you. That's basically what chemo is, right? It's a poison that helps you.
The poison that heals.
Yeah, the poison that heals. You don't want to be watching some great film.
No.
You don't want to be watching The Godfather.
You don't want to be watching movies that are filled with complicated themes.
Because you just want to taint them. You imagine the first time you saw The Godfather, you were on chemo. It's not gonna hit the same.
No.
So you need something like the Gilmore Girls, right? You need something like this is whatever another this is another Milo Ventimiglia project. And if you want that to work, if you want people to care about Milo Ventimiglia, then he's gonna have to. I'm sorry, when he gets his Jamba Juice, someone's going to be trying to, like, you know, take a picture of his, like, daughter's birth certificate or whatever these guys do. It's just part of the economy, you know? They're not going to, don't, like, yeah, you draw limits, right? Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm sorry, no one can go in your, we're not saying you should go in your house, right?
Right.
Oh, no, you know, but, like, you know, if they're going to, but while you're at Jamba Juice, that you're going to have people looking up, you know, at your booty. You bet, you know, you're at, look, middle of Amelia's ass stinks. And everyone's going to know. I'm sorry, you didn't choose a life of anonymity.
You didn't choose the farm. You didn't choose the cabbage patch. You chose glitz and glam. Too right. It's a strange time. When I mean, honestly, this video should be the commercial for Cabbage Patch.
We need everyone. Look.
Do you want to end up like this, or do you want to walk through a field and pluck your baby from the earth?
No more 23andMe. No more like, oh, who, like, what did I come from? Genghis Khan? Was I one of his harem? Was my mom one of Genghis Khan's harem? Whatever, you know. My friend, you know, the great Joe Rogan used to love to have.
People love talking about how your mom is Genghis Khan's rape baby.
Well. Yeah. Couldn't go one episode, huh? Almost made it. It's my fault for bringing up Genghis Khan. He was known for that.
Yeah.
He wasn't known for whining and dining. But yeah, like, it used to be a big thing. You know,
he wasn't a simp, that's for sure.
Genghis Khan was no simp.
Yeah.
But you know, like Joe Rogan would have on back in the day, in a simpler time, he'd have on, who's that guy, the hardcore history guy, and he would talk about just Genghis Khan and go, 25% of the people in the world have his DNA inside them. You know, some of them in their mouths. And you know, it's just everyone's all fixated on where's my lineage, and it's like we're getting rid of that. There's no more. Cause I'm sick of the Nepo babies too. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ethan Hawke, you were good in Gattaca, and I got no problem with your daughter, but it's like, is she that? Do we need that? Do we need Patrick Schwarzenegger? Or is that? I mean, in the White Lotus. Do we need, like, it's not like these people. If Daniel Day-Lewis's dad was Archie Bunker, you go, look, it's undeniable, right? But I mean, these people, you know, the kid from The Boys, who's Randy Quaid's kid and Goldie Hawn's kid. I mean, I'm not saying, you know, get them, like, you know, they can have jobs, they can have artificial wombs. Like, no one's saying they starved to death. But do we need to make them all, you know, celebrities? I'm sick of this whole Nepo thing. And the answer is this: everyone comes out of a Cabbage Patch, and we'll see how good Patrick Schwarzenegger is. And Ethan Hawke's daughter. I might be eating crow, Ethan Hawke. And go, hey, keep my daughter out of your mouth. No. Keep her name out of your mouth. No. How about that? Don't talk about my daughter. What are you gonna do about it?
She's a public figure.
What are you gonna do about it, Ethan? I'll call you Ethan. What are you gonna do about it? I got no beef with you, but don't try. I'm not saying anything too untoward. Don't you dare try to play the daddy card. You put your daughter into Hollywood. All right? I'm trying to make a system where you won't have to defend it. How much better would it be, Mr. Hawke, if your daughter from Stranger Things, who worked at the ice cream shop, didn't have that stigma of being your daughter? You know, she came out of a Cabbage Patch. We don't know where she's from. She might have been inside of Harvey Weinstein at one point, when his body, you know, not her. I mean, he's not dead yet. But, you know, this is how this will be. Who's someone from the past who died? She might have been in Strong Thurman's. No one knows who that is anymore. Give me someone.
She may have been a
Marlon Brando. She was raised inside Marlon Brando's gut, you know, right? His dead gut. And we don't know whose daughter she is. But look at her pour this ice cream into a spooky show, right? She worked at the ice cream shop in a spooky show, and she's so good. And no one's saying, do we really need Ethan Hawke's daughter? It's irrelevant because the Cabbage Patch, right?
Part of the Cabbage Patch is also that we're gonna just put everything in a big vat.
It's all a big vat. It's all. This is the new. This is the melting pot. The melting pot's a myth. This whole immigration thing. It's like I've been learning. I've been getting more into New York history. You know, they're all just fighting each other. Mm-hmm. They all just hate each other until someone new comes and they hate that person. And it's messy. But this idea, and it doesn't mean don't let people in. I'm just saying, but this idea of a melting pot really didn't happen that well. Like they're just factional. I'm talking about a real melting pot where no one knows who your daddy is. You know, remember JFK, Michael Rooker? This is New Orleans, chief. How do you know who your daddy is? Because your mama told you so. Well, there won't even be a mama anymore. Your mama's going to be Chalamet's womb. How do you know who your daddy is? Because Chalamet told you so. Willie. So, you know, I feel good about this. It's not, you know, this is a plan I would have come up with? No. I also wouldn't have written Hamlet. You know, in The Tale of Two Cities, I wouldn't have directed The Godfather or done anything Martin Scorsese did. Doesn't mean it's not good. Just because you didn't think of it, doesn't mean it's not worthwhile. You know, this narcissism in America has got to stop. We don't know, and he changes his mind every second. That's fun, isn't it? Wait, you want to sit there and go, who here was watching C-SPAN for 12 hours a day? I'm sorry. Did we like the boring politics? Did we pay attention to it? Did we care? This is what we signed up for 30 years ago on both sides when we said no to when Nixon in 1959 or whatever it was sweating on TV. We said, we don't want this. Give us the guy who murders Marilyn Monroe and he gets amphetamines injected into his back every day because it's Addison's disease because he looks good on camera. And that was probably the genesis of all of this. We went for and Nixon got in eventually because he started getting flashy. Started talking about his dog, you know, whatever. Get flashy, get aggressive, you know, make something out of yourself. They are the dream. Thanks so much for tuning in.
That was very inspiring.
Thank you. I think you're right. I think we're on to something here, and if we're not, well, whatever. Please sign up for, feel free to sign up and subscribe. It's a nice way, and hit the notification bell. And also we have a Patreon, patreon.com/RayCump. You get an extra episode every week. And that's the way you get more Kump. And it's a nice thing. A lot of people seem to like it.
And the Patreons are really good too.
Oh, they're great. The Patreon episodes are phenomenal. And there's hundreds of them. So if you're not in on that, get in on that. Or get a fake womb put inside you and get in the game. See you next week. Thank you.